All praise and honor, glory to you, how about Shemal Shai, Basham Hakodash, and give it double lines to the elder apostles and elder bishops, the great millstone, well, peace and citation to elect. Shemal Mappa from the great millstone, Plaintables, Campbell, Philadelphia. Coming with another lesson here on current event. You have it this being published on August the 1st, 2025. Hopeful year of the destruction of Esau, Edom, and his judgment, and also the deliverance of Jacob the elect. All right. So you have it here. Trump deploys 2 nuclear subs after Medvedev's foolish inflammatory statement. The war wars just escalated to something far more ominous. Okay. So we're going to see what it says. It says, on Tuesday, former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev issued the Kremlin's response to President Trump's Monday announcement from Scotland that he's reducing a deadline for Russia to agree a peace settlement from 50 days to 10 to 12 days, citing disappointment in Putin not ending or at least winding down the war. The war, what we're talking about, is the war in Ukraine. Okay? Now, you have it with the peace settlements and such. Esau, Edom always break those treaties, agreements and such. So, and Russia has all rights to deny, those different agreements, because America itself pulls out of agreements. You had the New Force Treaty with Russia, right? You had the New START Treaty, okay? That was one with the Russian Federation, all right? Which this was basically a nuclear arms reduction treaty between the United States and Russian Federation, with former named measures of further reduction and limitation of strategic offensive arms. It was signed back in 2010, April the 8th in Prague. That'd be I think that's in Czech Republic, right? So you have it that it expired back in 2000. Let's see, I have it 2012, but I hear this is the actual information I want. On February the 2023, Russia suspended its participation in the New START. However, it did not withdraw from the treaty. That's like, confusion right there. But it says, and clarify that it would continue to abide by numerical limits within the treaty. Okay, you have that the other treaty with the short and medium range ballistic missile treaty with Russia. You had that intermediate range force treaty. That also this is one that just directly tells you that they withdraw in 2019. Okay. Right there, which it eliminated a class of missile that was particularly threatening to Europe in the 1980s. Okay, and the U.S. formally withdrew from the treaty, citing Russia's violation with the treaty with development and deployment, okay, of this particular missile, which is a 9M729 missile, which the U.S. claimed fell within the treaty's prohibited range. Okay, so that's another missile treaty, okay, and all of these are being compromised, okay. So you can check all into that. And you have it with all of these different treaties and stuff, and with America being the spearhead, of the governments leading NATO. They're trying to be a nuclear deterrent against Russia. Okay, and the whole Ukraine being a ally of America that goes against, but America goes against the interests of Russia. Because strategically they would be in their territory and could easily, strategically strike Russia if Russia doesn't defend, and as it's going to be really assimilate that land back into its control. Okay, so because they're former Soviet Union country. All right, so you have these different talks and all these talks and stuff are the Lord is controlling and mustering the host, as Isaiah 13 tell you. Isaiah 13 tell you that Isaiah 13:4 says the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of kingdoms of nations gathered together. Okay, Russia is a kingdom and nation. America, all the NATO allies are that's nations gathered together. The Lord Yahweh of hosts, the Lord of armies, mustered the hosts of the battle. All right, and this is going to the missiles right here. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord Yahweh, in the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. All right, it's going to destroy the whole land of America. All right, we of course know that, and the other intended targets. Okay, so you have it with here with Medvedev warned Russia isn't Israel or even Iran, and thus that each new ultimatum is a threat and a step towards war, not between Russia and Ukraine, but with Trump's own country. That followed comments by Medvedev that Trump steamrolled humiliating Europe with his trade deal. Okay, you could go into the different trade deals and such, tax and tariffs and stuff. It says the sanctions. It says then Thursday Trump told Medvedev to watch his words. Okay, and Trump, being the king of Babylon, he's being like a big gangster. Okay, but you playing with leaders that have the same nuclear power, or well, if not better, and better actually, than America. All right, that's prophesied to destroy Babylon the Great, America. All right. And now, Friday morning, President Trump took to his Truth Social account and escalated his words in action, moving 2 nuclear subs to be positioned in appropriate reason based on highly provocative statements from former Russian president. All right, Dmitry Medvedev. Words are very important and often could lead to unintended consequences. I hope this will not be one of those instances. All right, and like I said, these words, words definitely have power and such, and the Lord is controlling the words of these individuals. All right, these kings, former kings and princes, these rulers, right? Okay, presidents. Okay, it says this is Proverbs chapter 16:1. The preparation of the heart in man, and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. So this back and talk is all from the Lord. Okay, going down, it says here, Proverbs chapter 16:4, it says the Lord Yahweh had made all things for himself. Yes, for the Lord's delight. Okay, yeah, even the wicked for the day of evil. Both of them are Edomites, and they both are the wicked. And they've been prepared for the day of evil, because these missiles are going to bring destruction to the wicked. All right, and you go into it also. I think the book of I think that's Proverbs the 22nd or 20th chapter. Alright, this is Proverbs 22 and 8. It says, he that soweth iniquity shall reap vanity, and the rod of his anger shall fail. And, with, these rulers and such, really, Trump, you don't know that the Lord got Russia with the upper hand on all of this, okay? There's nothing he could do to prevent the World War III. Okay, Proverbs 21 and 1, it says, the king's heart, or the king's mind, is in the hand of the Lord Yahweh. As rivers of waters, he turneth it whithersoever he will. Okay, so it's all the Lord's intended purpose. All right, and where he's moving these leaders to say different things, make different provocational statements, and to ultimately, make the actions that's going to make the war go nuclear. As Donald Trump has said, based on the highly provocative statements of former president of Russia, who is now a deputy chairman on the Security Council of Russian Federation, I have ordered 2 nuclear subs to be positioned in the appropriate region just in case the foolish inflammatory statements are just more than that. Words are very important and often can lead to unintended consequences. I hope this will not be one of those instances. Thank you for your attention to this matter. As we noted earlier, Trump's position, based on his latest remarks, is that war should be stopped. It's a disgrace, and yet U.S. still appears unwilling to strongly pressure Zelensky to make territorial concessions and declare Ukraine will never join NATO, right? Which is North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Washington also will continue arming Kiev, all right? Which, that blessing of the sword was given to the Edomites, okay? So them being arm dealers and providing the arms to their fellow counterparts over there in Russia, that's just only prophecy, okay? Revelation 6 chapter, you read about how a great sword was given, to the Edomites, all right? This is Revelation chapter 6 and 4, and there went out another horse of power that was red. Red represent Esau. Edom, which is Adawam, which Adawam is Edom. Esau is Edom, all right, and he's red, all right. Came out red like a hairy garment, lacking in the melanin, all right. These are Edomites, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. Yeah, as you see with this war, all right, and destruction, invasion of nations, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. Okay, and these weapons and such, nuclear especially, is part of that great sword. Okay, power. Now, you have it that we know that the beast is NATO, and you have it here that the scriptures talk about Russia, it talks about NATO, and it talks about how the bear is the end of this place, this system, ultimately. All right. This is Revelation 13 and 2. It says, "And the beast, which is NATO, which I saw," which is ultimately this whole system too. Okay, which I saw was like unto this Edomite system, is like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear. Okay, and now we understand that Russia is not part of NATO and such. Okay, but we know its end, its beginning was with the Greeks, but its end as a feet, as the end extremity of the body, is with, of course, Russia, which is the bear being very solitary, sticking to themselves, all right, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and a great authority. Okay, and this is not but an ancient Roman Empire coming right back again. All right, and I saw one of his heads as if it were wounded to death, and his head and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. Okay. Yep. So, you know, you go into this, the whole system, you know, with the Roman Empire, the new Roman Empire being here, and how, you know, the Lord ultimately is going to destroy it. Okay. And those, you know, evil thoughts is definitely being put in the thoughts of Russia, as you will read in the book of Ezekiel, the 38th chapter and such. Okay. But I would like digress right now, leave it short. You can read Ezekiel 38:10. Thus said the Lord Yahweh, it shall come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. Okay. That's what Russia, Gog and Magog, which Russia is in that region. Okay. And the Lord is going to put that spirit with them to, you know, start, you know, and well, really, not even start, but finish this Edomite rulership, do self-destruction via using their missiles on America, and missiles going apart, you know, with the rest of the nations. And hey, we'll have a new rulership with the coming of Yahweh Shai at that same time. War in Armageddon, you know, the Valley of Troops, and Yahweh Shaphat over there in the Levant. But yeah, so that's it for the lesson. Shalom to the elect. Till next time.